Hello vinyl community, how you doing? It's Bill with the Vinylverse. In this video I'm going to show vinyl grabs that I've picked up since April. I've had a few other installments of this. I've shown jazz, I've shown my jazz pickups, I've shown my prog pickups, and I showed some 7-inch singles that I've picked up. This batch is basically everything else that I've picked up since April. For whatever reason, I haven't been able to show these over the past several months, so I'm going to get through these albums, and let's just get started with, I'm going to say a lot of these are going to be more common things that I've picked up, kind of filled in some gaps in the collection, but really excited to pick up the 50th anniversary All Things Must Pass 5 LP box set. George Harrison, All Things Must Pass. Came out in 1970. They put out the 50th anniversary release this year. I'm not going to take it out because it's been shown many times. So there's plenty of videos out there if you want to see what's included in this box. Go check out those videos. There's the sticker. So a total remix of the album, with the album was 3 LPs, so the 3 LPs are in here remixed. Then there's an additional 2 LPs with outtakes and demos, so that is very cool. Now I will say I was a bit underwhelmed with the remix of the album. Definitely still happy that I picked it up, especially for the outtakes and demos. But the remix of the album, I guess I had higher expectations. I haven't read any or seen any proper reviews of the remix of this album, but I've seen other people that have a similar feeling to me, that just underwhelmed. I guess I was expecting more clarity, more separation between the instruments. Certain things are more in the forefront and certain things are more in the back, which was different. George's vocals are definitely more up front. But definitely happy to have picked it up. I'm glad I have it. I still have my other copy, which is a very nice copy. I think it was a mid-70s pressing. So it was cool also to get the poster again. Back with my original copy, I had, back in my high school years, I had the poster up on my ceiling. So I haven't had that for ages, so it was cool to see the poster again. And yeah, one of the greatest albums of all time, in my opinion. All Things Must Pass by George Harrison. I was happy to get the 5 LP 50th anniversary box. Okay, sticking with George Harrison. Several month or so ago, I went to a record store in my area, but it's a little further out. I had never been there before. It's called Hideaway Music. And I picked up some things there, including this, Traveling Wilburys, Volume 1. So, Traveling Wilbury's first album with, of course, George Harrison, Bob Dylan, Tom Petty, Roy Orbison. This is one that I've been looking for years. I never see this in my area for whatever reason. And if I do see it, it's usually kind of beat up. So I found a nice copy. Probably paid a little more than I wanted to. But based on where this record store is located at, I kind of had the thought that maybe prices would be a little higher there. So 1988, Traveling Wilburys, Volume 1. There's the label. Yeah, so I'm sure most of you are familiar with this, handled with care, and End of the Line were the two big singles off this album. But it's a great album, and I'm finally happy to have a vinyl copy in my collection. Also at that store, Hideaway Music, I found another long time want, again, which I never see around here, and this is a beautiful, beautiful copy of Neil Young on the Beach. 1974 Neil Young, one of his best, or maybe one of my favorites, I should say, of his work. This is kind of cool. It has the artwork on the inner here inside of the jacket. On reprise, of course. This is not a first pressing, but it is 1974 pressing. Here's the insert or inside sleeve. So yeah, another one that's kind of common, but I've never had it, and was thrilled to come across it. Again, probably paid a little more than I wanted to, but this is a real beautiful copy, and I'm happy to have that. Moving along here, the B-52s and their 1992 album Good Stuff. This is their 5th studio album, I believe, not including the Mesopotamia EP. This is the first and only album, I think, without Cindy Wilson. She had taken a break from the band after the album Cosmic Thing. So they put out this album as a trio: Fred Schneider, Keith Strickland, and Kay Pearson. Still a strong album, really enjoyable. Maybe a bit overproduced. Half of the album is produced by Don Was and the other half by Nile Rodgers. But enjoyable with songs like the title track, Good Stuff, Tell It Like It T.I. Is, Breeze In, Bad Influence, Dreamland, Is That You, Modine? This is the inner sleeve. This also is on Reprise Records. This actually is a European pressing, and was cool to find this one. And I mean, I've had the CD for years. B-52s, a true favorite band of mine. So I was happy to add this one to the collection. Glad to have it. Okay, these next two, I didn't know that these had gotten repressed, and then Michael P. Dawson had in a month, several months back, shared this album, Annette Peacock Extremes. So when he showed this, it's a reissue on Sundazed Records. Originally he put out in 1978, and then this reissue came out this year on Sundazed. I pretty much immediately went and ordered this one, and then the follow-up, which I'll show in a second. So, Annette Peacock, very interesting singer, songwriter. She's very much very unique vocal style. Not too much actual musical singing, but more almost like, especially on this one, more almost like beat poetry. But definitely influenced by jazz, and very avant-garde, but quite enjoyable. This is an insert that's in that there. And on this album, here's a picture of her with Bill Bruford, who plays on this album drums. My favorite drummer there, Bill Bruford. She would then go on to play in his band Bruford also. This Extremes is on translucent yellow vinyl. There's the Sundays label there. So great. This album is kind of more sultry and sensual. Very good. Like I think I mentioned already, jazz influenced. Kind of the New York scene. So really great. Happy to have this one. But even more so to have the follow-up. The Perfect Release from 1979. This one I enjoy more than Extremes. This one is a little more still in the same vein. Annette kind of still has her unique vocal style. There's a little more singing, I guess. But really great. Bill Bruford does not play on this one. But really, really great album. And this one, this reissue is on translucent red vinyl. So really happy that Sundays reissued these two albums. I wish they would, or someone, or Sundays, or someone else would reissue her first album from 1972, I'm the One. That's one I would love to have on vinyl. Let's see here, there's a... This is the insert of the Perfect Release. So, awesome to grab those two, and I'm glad I caught Michael P. Dawson's video back a few months ago when he showed that. So I was able to grab those, or else I wouldn't have even known about them. Now, moving along, something completely different. The Monkees Live, the Mike and Mickey show. This had come out last year, and I kind of slept on it for a while. And a deal came up recently, and I jumped on it and got this for a great deal. It's a double album. And this follows their tour when they went out as a duo, Michael Nesmith and Mickey Dolenz. This album really sounds great. Really impressed with how this album sounds. Here's the inside gatefold in the band there, including Christian Nesmith, Michael's son. He's kind of the band leader, and I think he even produced this album. He mixed the album, it says here, Christian Nesmith. So all the Monkee hits, especially a lot of Nesmith tunes, which is great because he's my favorite, and really happy to grab this. It's so good, and it's like I said, the sound quality on this is phenomenal, and I got it for a great deal. The Monkees Live, the Mike and Mickey show. All right, next, a very interesting album. This is Michael McNabb, Computer Music from 1983. Dream Song, Orbital View, and Love in the Asylum. So electronic music. It's kind of exploratory. Not much rhythm on this album. This is more using samples of synthesized music, and other sounds, and then using modifying the waveforms to make the music. So very exploratory, not much rhythm to be found on this album, which makes it really interesting. From what I've read on the album, it was kind of pioneering into this new computer style music. This is on label 1750. What is it? 1750 Arch Records. Very cool to have this. Very interesting. It's very experimental, spacey. It's very beautiful as well. So this was a cool find. Michael McNabb computer music from 1983, and it actually has a promotional, not for sale sticker on it here. So that's cool, and not too far off of that one, I had a recommendation from Chris Cole in the VC. His channel is John Coltrane 86. Great guy, great channel, extremely knowledgeable guy. He sent me a link to this album, thought it would be up my alley. I had never heard of it, so I sampled it, and I was kind of blown away, so I ordered it and picked it up. And this is Mark Shreeve, and the album is Thoughts of War from 1982. So Mark Shreeve, the way Chris Cole described it to me is kind of the UK's version of Klaus Schulze. So that really intrigued me right off the bat. And this is definitely in that early Berlin school style of music that Klaus Schulze was known for, as well as Tangerine Dream. So this is really cool. It's on Uniton, the Uniton label. This is a pressing out of Norway. I'm not sure if it's been pressed anywhere else, actually, but that's what this is. And really, really great. I thought I'd read a little something on the back here, which I found very interesting. It says, the music must be taken seriously, as there are deeper thoughts behind each title and each individual note. Mark uses his instruments for what they are and creates emotional pictures with contrast and variation. Here you have to use your imagination. The music describes the meaning behind the titles without any help from lyrics. Negative listeners will, as usual, slaughter this special music, even though Mark's music is much more unique than all English and American pop rock music put together. But listen to it yourself, preferably with open ears, then perhaps you will also be left to your own fantasies. And that was written by Jarl Hugo Leisted, editor of Agitation. I guess that's a publication out of Norway, maybe. But really interesting and really, really great. So thanks so much to Chris Cole for the recommendation here. Definitely happy to have it. This is this style of music I've been leaning more into the past year and a half to 2 years. So cool to have this. Now, let's do a 180 from electronic music. And this is a release that came out this year. This is Edie, Brickell, and New Bohemians, and their album Hunter and the Dog Star. So I'm a fan of Edie Brickell and New Bohemians. This has a little bit of everything, a little bit of folk, a little bit of country pop. So and definitely rock. A really great album. before I bought this, before it was released, before it was released on vinyl, I streamed it several times, and then it came out on vinyl, and I grabbed it, and I'm happy I did so. This is the inside sleeve here. There's the label. So really nice album. It's good to hear Edie Brickell back with new Bohemians. Musicianship is exceptional. Edie's vocals are great as usual. Some of the songs are a little what's a good word for it? Some of them meander a little bit. They kind of are repetitive or drag on a little bit, but for the most part, really enjoy this. So, and I've never really shown anyone else in the VC show this album. Maybe I've missed it, but it's definitely worth checking out. Fun album, fun music, and happy to have it. Also, sticking with Edie Brickell, a few weeks ago, I happened to be on Pop Market, the site Pop Market, and they had a section for kind of clearance, and this album was on it for, I think I paid $9 for the vinyl copy. It's Steve Martin and Edie Brickell. So familiar. This is the second album that they did together. First album, I don't know if this won any Grammys, but I believe that first album did. But critically acclaimed, both albums. So Steve Martin, known for acting and comedian, but he is also a exceptional banjo player. so I had this on CD previously, and glad to finally have it on vinyl. I don't have the first album on vinyl. Hope to someday. This is a bit more contemporary, but walks the line of folk, a little bit of country. Definitely a little bit more relaxed and slower, but very good. Definitely enjoyable. It's a great Sunday morning listen. There's the labels. So, yeah, for that clearance deal, I couldn't pass it up. So, happy to have picked it up. Now, last thing. Found this a couple weeks ago. Sure everyone's familiar. I've never owned this album on vinyl, so finally happy to now have it. It's U2, The Joshua Tree from 1987. Of course, one of their biggest albums. This is the album that really propelled them into kind of superstardom. Wonderful album. Many great songs like Where the Streets Have No Name, I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, With or Without You, Bullet the Blue Sky, Red Hill Mining Town, In God's Country, One Tree Hill. I mean, song after song. Just great. And yeah, like I said, I've never owned it on vinyl, so happy to have come across this at that Joys and Toys store that I've talked about before. Here's the insert with the lyrics. So, yeah. Like I said, I'm sure most people are familiar with it. Here's the labels. Very nice copy as well. Still need to clean it. But cool to finally have this. And with that, that is the latest finds since since April, and over that span of 4 or 5 months. So, hope everyone's doing well. I appreciate you watching. We're into September now, so coming up to the fall, which I absolutely love. So, that's going to do it. Everyone, take care. I will talk to you all again soon. Stay well. All right? Okay, bye, VC. Bye-bye.